Right. All right, let's kick it off, guys. We've got Afaz, Khuteja, Fatma, Hasher, Ehsan, and of course the team themselves on the call right now. So I think it's a good number of people to start the conversations. Um, let's start with first and foremost congratulating all of you to make it through week two of the challenge. We're going to dive into week three now with some suggestions that we have. But before we do that, we want to understand how things are going so far, any kind of particular um, roadblocks, problems, or issues that we have encountered or are encountering, or confusions, and how, and then we'll try our best to answer them as much as we can. So if any of you have any specific concerns other than those that have already been shared on the groups, you guys can either raise your hand and unmute yourself or just drop a message in the call. Yeah. Body type and macro breakdown. Cute. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Wa alaikum salam. All right, we've got Asma and Insia who have just joined in. Right, so here's what I can comment a little bit about the body type and macro breakdown. Um, we are not really, because we are working with a large group of people, and we are not technically giving you individual meals or individual nutrition guidelines. We can't technically go into macro breakdowns with each individual because there is no one size fits all situation here. So within a bigger group, I can't. Oh shit! Sorry. Someone was in the waiting room. Sorry. So because we're working with a group, we can't technically start commenting on an individual level when it comes to your macros and your body types because everyone's different. There are certain guidelines which we've already provided when it comes to the grams that you should be taking for your body weight in terms of protein. We've also suggested, in terms of in our nutrition guide, the template that we shared in the email of what your plate should look like in terms of the quantity of carbohydrates, quantity of proteins, quantity of fats, quantity of fibers. Those are general nutrition guidelines that we are providing for everyone to follow. I understand that some of you might be struggling to put them into perspective when it comes to grammage. Um, but for those that are really struggling with that, you have your accountability groups and your accountability coaches to seek out to individually, and hopefully they'll be able to give you suggestions. But right now, we can't give you breakdowns on a group level that will suit everyone's needs, unfortunately, at least on this call. What recovery method should I prioritize to ensure I'm ready for next week's challenge? This is a good question because this call is actually going to be talking a little bit about the recovery protocols. So we're going to jump into it if no one has any objections to it. So the goals that, let's recap first. The goals that we set in the last call were to bump up our protein intake, to increase our energy expense, and to be active or remain active on the accountability groups with our coaches. The last one, which we said, was to see whether we can maintain some kind of discipline over the weekend as well, right? Because weekends are where we lose kind of, we fall off the tracks a little bit. So I know from the discussions that were happening in my accountability groups that most of the people were trying actively to fix or adjust their routines accordingly. And I hope that the others have been doing as well. For the next week, which is the third week, and things start getting a little stale now, and this is across the board. This is not something that you alone are feeling. This everyone feels that. It starts to get a little monotonous. The workouts start feeling the same. The excitement goes a little bit lower. We start to feel like we are kind of hitting a plateau a little bit almost. Um, you know, but that's what the whole group is for, and that's what the accountability groups are for, and that's why we are working together as a team. So because we're going to be facing these in the next 3 or 4 week, what we have to try to do is keep each other motivated in our groups. Number one. The second goal that we have to try to achieve, and this is something that we are going to reiterate because not everyone is still achieving this goal, and that goal is the protein intake. Guys, we have to emphasize on this because in order for us to achieve our body transformation in terms of packing on lean muscle, losing fat, and to look leaner overall, or to even get stronger or bulkier, um, it has a, a large importance of that when it comes to our nutrition lies in the protein. So if you haven't already in the last week started to incorporate a meal, an additional meal, or start to incorporate an additional portion of protein in your meals, that is the first. Zara, if you can kindly please put yourself on mute. That is the first and foremost target that you have to try to achieve in this coming week. Again, just to reiterate, how can you achieve that? If you're someone that doesn't have breakfast, start adding a breakfast to your meals. Maybe having a breakfast or preparing the breakfast is too difficult for you given your life. Make the breakfast, maybe have like a shake made a night before or a smoothie made a night before or a yogurt bowl with some fruit made a night before and keep it in the fridge so that all you have to do is have it on the go, right? It's just one suggestion. You're already having breakfast, you're already having your meals, but you're unable to achieve the protein, or you're unable to do that, increase the protein intake by adding another meal. Don't add another meal. Just add the protein. So, add an extra serving of that spoonful of salan or keema or dal. Just add another spoon, right, to your plate. Cumulatively over the week, you will start seeing that the body will start to recover better, perform better, grow better, respond better, recover better because of that. And that is the importance here, what protein does to our bodies. So those are the most simple tools that I can recommend that you do. I know that from my group, when it comes to the accountability group, I know that a lot of the members have done that, are doing it, but it's not like everyone's achieved this goal collectively. They're doing it, they're trying to do it, but we're still getting there. So the protein is, guys, can you keep it a bit low? Thank you. Um, Sorry. So the protein, the first one was the staying active on our groups still and keeping each other motivated. We've got some really exciting reward schemes that we're planning out for this week for everyone. So your coaches will work closely with you for that. The third thing which I have to, all right, Futeja, I just read your message. It's contradictory because yesterday you said something else, but okay. Um, the third thing which we're going to talk about, and this is about one of the questions, the recovery. Sleep. This is Number three, or a goal that you have to start to incorporate in your lifestyle changes for this coming week. I know that Harsher is a specialist in sleep, but I think we've all done enough research to know the importance of sleep when it comes to digestion of nutrition, when it comes to recovery, when it comes to growth. So if we're not getting good quantity and quality of sleep, even if you're working out really well and you're putting in the work in the gym and you're putting in the work when it comes to the food intake, your body will not respond to it as well as the person that is actually getting 6 to 8 hours of good, efficient, uninterrupted, deep sleep. Not one night, but every night. So the third thing which I'm saying is for this week, we have to start to be a bit more conscious about our sleeping habits. So one of the ways of doing that is that if you fall asleep or you set your time to go to sleep at 11 or 12, whatever it is, try to make it a promise to yourself that an hour or 45 minutes before that time, you are going to wind down. Wind down looks different for everybody. For me, wind down might look like reading a book. For you, it might look like switching the light down and watching a TV show. For someone else, it might look like listening to a podcast. For someone else, it might look like just looking up towards their ceiling and daydreaming, night dreaming, whatever the fuck, right? But whatever it is, you have to start making a conscious effort to prepare your body to get a good night's sleep. If you try to achieve that and you start to give your body that, I am very, very sure and confident that the growth that your body needs to achieve for all that you're feeding it and for all that you're doing with it in the training is going to be a lot more beneficial. Right. Now, that was number four. Musra, we can see you in the camera. That was number three. Now coming to number four. Number four is, I know that we suggested this in the last call, which was how can we increase our protein? One of the solutions was that increase your protein by adding a protein shake to your diet. I don't know how many of you have done that. I know that it's not the most feasible solution because it is an added expense. We even suggested some solutions for that, which was to kind of maybe buy a protein tub with your accountability group and share it. But in case you haven't been able to do it, I still strongly believe that we should start using supplements. Here are some of the suggested and recommended supplements that will help you lose fat, gain lean muscle, recover better, and perform better. Number one, whey protein. Great for muscle recovery, digestion, muscle growth, etc. etc. I can go on, but let's just stop there. It's also very fast absorbing. So ideal for your post-workout meal. Number two, creatine. This is not necessarily the most beneficial thing for those of you that are looking to lose weight. But for those of you that are looking to gain lean muscle, for those of you that are looking to recover better, for those of you that are looking to get stronger, creatine, which is around about 5 grams, taking around by 5 grams with your post-workout meal, with your post-workout shake or pre-workout, doesn't matter in my opinion. Creatine is a great supplement to have. Number three, healthy fats. Now, healthy fats you can achieve through natural foods as well, but sometimes it's difficult to achieve that. So maybe popping a 7 C's fish oils tablet can help you do that. Healthy fats are excellent sources for you to recover and reduce your inflammation. Whenever you guys train, whenever we train, whenever we go through strenuous exercise, our body gets inflamed. The recovery happens when the inflammation goes back down. And that's why we feed it, that's why we rest, that's why we sleep, that's why we try to kind of recover. Healthy fats such as fish oils, etc., help you do that. Help bring the inflammation back down. Help repair the muscle. That's the third one. The fourth one, which is my previous, and well, I personally love it, is magnesium. Magnesium is again a great tool for recovery. Magnesium can be done through natural foods, but it's not that easy to do. So having a tablet of magnesium, unless and until you have any allergies or there's any medical condition that doesn't allow you to have these things, that's different. But magnesium tablets really do help recover your muscles, your nervous systems, get better sleep, calm you down, all of this stuff, right? So those are some of the recommended new supplements that we kind of advise that you should try to start incorporating. Maybe don't start incorporating them all of a sudden in this coming week, but maybe make a plan for incorporating them. Next week you can make a promise that I'm going to start investing in having a fish oil every day. The week after, maybe you can add magnesium. Creatine, I already explained, it's a bit specific for goals. And then the whey protein. So that's so you got your sleep, you got your supplements, you got your protein emphasis that we're still saying, and then number four is your accountability groups. You have to questions like Harsha asked about macros, about body types, etc. If you want to go into very specifics of these, there are certain rules that apply to your protein intake, to your carb intake, to your fat intake that you can do on an individual basis with your coaches. But we are suggesting to keep it a little bit chilled out, to just kind of use your plate as a reference. And we've already shared that what that plate looks like in the nutrition guide. And all we're suggesting now is to increase the portion of the protein in that plate, right? That way, in our opinion, you will be able to achieve your goals. The fifth one is again a reiteration from last week, which is your energy expense. If you are still freaking out about not being able to lose weight, or you're not seeing results and you want to see results faster, quicker, then you have to start ex- spending energy. Yeah, spending energy faster as well. So you have to increase the activity level, whether that's the number of steps that you're taking, whether that's another day that you're adding. You will have to start doing those kind of things. It's not magically going to happen without effort. You have to remember that, right?
And make sure they're eating in the calorie they are
And of course, the calorie, whatever your calorie count is, in order to lose your or achieve your target goal, you have to stay within that. Just because your activity has gone up doesn't mean your calorie intake goes up. Deficit. Right. So, one disclaimer that we would like to give you is that, yeah, I'm coming to the fat loss thing. One thing that we are going to give you, which I feel like some people might start freaking out about very soon, is that, hey, in the first 2 weeks, I lost 1 kg or 0.5 kg or 2 kgs, and now I'm not losing anything. That's okay. The reason why that might be happening is because usually what happens is that the body suddenly reacts to the change that you make, right? And then it starts to adapt. So maybe the reaction phase is done and now the adaptation phase is happening. So in order for your body to react further, you have to make further changes, and then the cycle will keep going. So every 2 weeks you might start feeling adapted again or plateauing again. So then more adjustments will have to be made until you reach the 8 week mark where your overall progress has helped you reach your goal. So don't freak out. Now I'm going to start coming one by one to the questions. First is, we are fitting nicely into our clothes, but we are not losing weight. Does anyone else want to take it, or should I comment on this? Okay. The reason why you're fitting nicely in your clothes and the reason why your scale isn't telling you that you've lost weight is because you probably lost fat and packed on some muscle or lean muscle. So your body composition has improved, but your overall weight hasn't. So that's actually a much better progress that we recommend and we would keep advising you to build on versus you worrying about what the weights scale shows. Because you are packing on lean muscle, you are getting leaner, you are burning fat, but the scale doesn't represent that because even though the fat has gone down, the the lean muscle has gone up, which is why the scale is still in balance. But based on the recommendations that I've just suggested for the next couple of weeks, you want to continue down the path of reducing your digits on the scale, you will have to start making better choices or different choices to achieve that. Hope that makes some sense. Bilal, the extra 15 to 20 minutes things you've recommended post workout, is it necessary for it to be post or can it be pre as well? This is a fantastic question, actually. I would love to answer it, but if you guys want to do it,
I think we can do before also, but you have any suggestion?
yeah, I do. Do you want to answer it or should I? All right, cool. Guys, there are people around me. There's Nazia, Kiran, and Vandana. In case anyone's wondering, he's just walking around. Okay. First of all, the 15 to 20 minutes or the 10 minutes extra work that you're doing is still going to be extra, right? So it's not like if you do it before, you're not gaining benefit. You're still going to gain benefit. Now comes about the how do I put it? The what's more beneficial, right? In my opinion, post workout will be more beneficial to burn fat. The reason why that is something to do with your energy intake, right? So what's happened is that when you work out, your muscles have contracted, extracted a fair amount. They've consumed a lot of energy. They've burnt a lot of energy. So then what happens is that all the protein and the carbs and all of that, the nutrition that the body had stored, it started to get depleted. So you're already in a little bit of a depleted state. So now now on top of that depletion, when you start to feed it low intensity zone 2 type training, which is known to burn fat, or one of the beneficials of that kind of training is to burn fat, and you do it for a prolonged period of time, your body will start to extract energy from the fat storage that we have. So that's why we start seeing that the body starts to look leaner and leaner when we try to do these kind of extra sessions after weight training. But again, going back to your question, it's not like it's going to be drastically more beneficial to do it post. At the end of the day, if push comes to shove, if you can't stay back 15-20 minutes, but you can come 10-15 minutes earlier, do it. Don't skip it, right? So as long as you do the work, put the work in, you'll be okay. I am hating the scale. Throw it out, mate. Oh, that's sincere. Who is the scale? Oh, the swaying scale. Maybe okay. Does anyone want to get like all therapist type about your relationship with the scale? Yeah.
Mute yourself. About what? So, Insia, like we've discussed this before also, and I think all of your accountability coaches have mentioned this to you, that the scale fluctuates a lot, right? And it's not something that will always stay consistent, especially for women, because around your menstrual cycle, your weight goes up by like 5-6 pounds, right? So these things happen, and because of that, you feel like you've either gained a lot of weight or you're not seeing any kind of results. So for those who are using the scale, I would say that who are adamant on using it, I would say then check your weight every single day and track every point you gain or you lose. So that way you have an average of a week that you can compare week by week. Okay? But because of the kind of training that you guys are doing, because you have a lot of like strength workouts happening, uh, if you are losing inches and if you are feeling better, looking better like Khudaija is, then you don't really have to worry about the number on the scale. Because a lot of people are probably who weigh the same as you and look different, weight looks different on everyone. So just because you have like a number in mind that, oh, I want to be this number, and if you look the same, then there's really no point, right? So you really have to think about what's important to you. If it's a number, then that's a different conversation to have. But if it's something, if you want to look good, feel good, and if you really want to transform your body and your mindset, then there are other performance and quantitative measures that you can look at, like your. So yeah, so see, the thing is, Khudaija, you're checking your weight after 2 weeks, right? So if you had been checking your weight every single day, तो फिर उसमें कुछ ना कुछ fluctuation होती, which you would have had, which you would have accounted for. So sometimes you weigh like 62 in the morning and 65 at night because of the water intake, your workout information, your carb intake, right? So weight बहुत ज़्यादा fluctuate करता है. So if you want to use the scale, do it correctly. Don't arbitrarily एक दिन सुबह को measure कर दिया, एक दिन रात को measure कर दिया. That will just give you inaccurate results and it really put you off. So don't do that. Just do it every day or don't do it at all. That's what I would suggest for the scale.
Let me add to this a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. It seems like some of you are quite motivated by the scale. That's okay. Maybe this is what your transformation goal was. Um, while we are not advising you to take drastic steps week on week, because that's just not going to be sustainable, be beneficial, you will see drastic impact on your energy levels. You might see drastic impact on your hormones, your internal organs. Everything has an impact uh, if you do it without sustainable steps. But if you're hell bent on that scale, and that scale is the only kind of indicator of your success or failure in this transformation challenge, then guys, there are solutions to it, right? The solutions are that you will have to starve yourself a little bit more. Okay, so you will have to starve yourself a bit more. That doesn't mean that you stop eating food. It just means you'll have to eat even lesser than you are. I'm sorry, but that's just what it looks like, right? The other thing is that you will have to do extra work, right? So you will have to keep doing extra work. So instead of 10 minutes after class that we've suggested or I'm suggesting, let's say you have to do 20, right? And that should be coupled with lesser quantities of food and cleaner quantities of food, right? So you can't have the salan, right? The salan which has the canola oil or the salt, right? Or the all the masalas, all the things that you enjoy. No, let's put what black and white looks like, right? Because we have to make the distinction of what sustainable results look like and what drastic results the scale look like. And you can do that for 5 days, and you can probably see a big change in your scale, and that might give you the satisfaction and the gratification that you're looking for. We are not suggesting you to do that, but there is a solution to it which I've just outlined. However, trust the process that we are outlining for you. Keep making the small changes week on week. Keep making more committed decisions to your nutrition, training, sleep, supplement intake, and your accountability groups and your discussions. Try to keep your these levels high and look at it as an 8-week process, not a weekly process only. If you don't look at it like that, every day you step on the scale will discourage you. But if you do want to, you're like, no, Bilal, shut the fuck up. We don't care. We just want the scale. Then call me. I will give you the exact food to eat tomorrow and the exact workout to do. And I can guarantee that in 1 week you will lose the scale. Okay.
So the thing is that BT mentioned, and this is something that we all know, that in the next week or two, you may or may not see a lot of weight loss, or maybe not even a lot of inches loss, because your body is now adapting. But the thing is that you have to keep in mind that this transformation was not just about you looking a certain way, right? This transformation was about your mindset, was about building better habits. It was about uh, changing your day-to-day lifestyle as well, and being more mindful about what you eat. So this week I would really encourage all of you guys to focus on smaller wins that you may have achieved, that with something that you never imagined yourself doing. Like Insia just mentioned that she has been noting down what she's been consuming in a day. This is a win for a lot of people, because a lot of people did not know or even really considered what they were putting in their body every single day, right? So that's a win. If you are active outside of the gym, that is also a very big win. If you this week you focus on your sleep, and you're able to put your phone down 2 hours before you go to bed every single day, that's also a win. So these things are what will lead to your ultimate 8 week process, 8 week result, right? So these small changes that you make every day is with that would be get you the result that you want in the 8 weeks. So just focus on these things. The smaller things and the big things will happen, right? So don't focus too much on कि इस हफ्ते मेरा weight कम नहीं हुआ था, अगले हफ्ते हो रहा है. So sorry. Okay. Yeah, you can add.
All right, fantastic. I just wanna end the call with a fantastic message that Harshar's just sent on the group. I don't think we could have summarized it even better than what he's just said. And this is hit the nail, guys. Summary point number one: 7 hours of sleep. Prioritizing that, we've suggested some solutions to how to achieve that. Up the protein intake approximately by 1.5 grams or kgs. That is one of the most simplest way of saying it. Consider some supplements: creatine, magnesium, fish oils, etc. Healthy fat intake. Stay active on accountability group. Don't worry about weight, inches, etc. And time of extra cardio with respect to gym sessions. Thank you so much, Harsha, for sharing this summary. This is fantastic. Unless anyone has Right. Kiran just wants to add a little bit about the menstrual cycle, but from me, that's all. So I'm going to let her lead.
Okay, so we had a question come in earlier this. Mute karo. We had a question come in from one of our clients about how to eat during the menstrual cycle. So the thing is that your body temperature rises a week before your menstrual cycle, and your progesterone levels go up. So you can potentially eat 300 calories more and still go up to maintenance calories, or eat 300 calories more, because that's the amount of extra calories your body burns during that time. So if you are on this deficit, and you have those cravings and you want to eat a little bit extra, just use that week to add on the calories. Usually on the week of your period, you're pretty okay. You just feel a lot of fatigue, but the appetite goes down for a lot of people. But again, it's different for everyone. So the general idea is that you can potentially eat a little bit more in your period week and not see any real fat gain, but your weight will go up. So your weight will definitely be higher than usual during your period. So don't associate the two. This is just something that's part of the process. The week after your period is when you're the leanest. So that's the weight that you want to basically consider, not the weight before your period or on your period. So the week after is the weight that you will basically be your leanest weight, right? So just focus on that. And that's about it. But if you have any other
We should
questions,
also be talking about calories while you're unwell or fighting an infection.
that also I mentioned. So another question that I had in my transformation group was about how to be doing this challenge while you're sick. So if you are feeling unwell, and if you're feeling like you have fever or you're not feeling too well, then you should be eating a little bit more, because your body is already burning more calories while you're sick. So in terms of your workout, if you can't do it, that's fine. But if you can get some sort of movement, and if you can go for a walk, if you can do the prescribed workout at your 60-70% effort, do it. If not, that's completely okay as well. But don't stay in your deficit. Eat eat your maintenance calories. It will not lead to weight gain. And also focus on nutritious food that makes you feel better. Like you can have bone broth, you can have haldi doodh and all of those things. Khichdi, all of those things will help you feel better. So focus on the quality of your nutrition while you're sick rather than your deficit. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any other questions, ask. Otherwise, I think we are pretty much done. Okay. Great, guys. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great week and a better weekend. See you.
See you guys. Bye-bye.